Chud has a racist friend called Jake Lang. Jake Lang is the dude who goes around calling black people the N-word, who said black people don't deserve to live in America among white people, who said Carmelo Anthony should be hanging from a tree, who said black mothers are failures. That Jake Lang, who went to LA playing and got whooped on and sent to the hospital for trying to play them racist games outside the BT Award weekend, that Jake Lang, that man who don't even believe that black folks have the right to live in the new America, has finally found a black man low down enough to go to war with black folks on behalf of him. I never thought I'd see the day, man, where a black man would be on YouTube going to war with black folks on behalf of Jake Lang. Shuck and jiving, self-hating, grifter, who is shameless enough to do such a thing. His name is Brandon Jamal. Now,
yes, everyone, for your Friday viewing pleasure, I have a bit of a YouTube disagreement here, if you will. Now, we all know who Poetik Flakko is. He is a social commentator on YouTube. He has 417,000 subscribers. Much respect to him. But the enemy, if you will, I guess, wait a minute, where's my sound effect? Where is it?
Enemy spotted.
Seems to be none other than Brandon Jamal. Now, Brandon Jamal has become famous for the song You Are a Single Mom.
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom.
He's very funny. He also does social commentary and things of that nature. He claims to be not a Democrat, so we already know where this is about to go, right? We're going to get into this reaction. Poetik Flakko is going to explain some of the history of Brandon Jamal, and he's going to go into his gripe with Brandon Jamal's take on Jake Lang and what he did during the BET Awards weekend. So we're going to get into all of that. Before I do, if you have not done so already, right now, hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And if you want to further contribute to the channel, hit that hype button down below to hype me up in the algorithm if you can. And hit the Cash App, $ Mr. Normie. Let's get into the reaction.
Jamal is a man who's in his mid-40s, who used to make just straight up incel content, bruh.
He's in his mid-40s. You sure about that? I gotta look that up. He said mid-40s. I think that's cat right there, bro. I think you might need to do some more research.
Walking around with diapers, making fun of single mothers. Like, that was his entire content. Just straight incel slop. But apparently he has made a pivot in content from incel slop to now he does low-effort reaction videos where he just takes the anti-black.
Okay, now here we go, the incel thing. Of course, this is a broad insult to men, much like calling them on the rainbow and things like that. When they're doing something that's maybe anti-females, you would say, it's considered incel. Yes, he was talking about single moms. He made a pretty funny song about it, which he's done several remixes to that one song, which are all funny, by the way. But I mean, he'll even tell you he called out something he sees around his circumference every day in his bubble. He's from Chicago. He's been around a lot of single moms, so he made a funny song about it, and it just happened to go viral and trigger a lot of, well, single mothers.
Every time and just straight up grift to white supremacists. And I'm not surprised, yo, like the incel slop to self-hating white supremacists grifting is like a pipeline that I've seen way too often. But Brandon Jamal does a reaction video to Jake Lang going to the BET Awards with signs up depicting black people as gorillas while claiming black mothers are terrible. After, by the way, going viral for saying black people are N-words and we don't deserve to live among white folks, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Brandon Jamal has openly stated that he supports all of that. He believes that Jake Lang is a hero and that black folks are the villains in the situation.
We stand against the BET Awards. You disgust me. You disgust me. You're celebrating disgusting violent culture. The BET Awards is a celebration of sin, prostitution, drug dealing, armed robbery. We cannot coexist with the people that want to kill us and have been brainwashed by rap music.
All I want to know is, where is the lie?
This man literally whistled, woo, where's the lie at? Where Jake Lang said that black folks are violent, that we can't coexist among white folks because we want to murder them. And this man literally whistled and said, where's the lie at? I mean, where's...
Now, before I continue on this conversation, I will say one thing. I'm sorry, with the commentary, I will say two things. Two things can be true at the same time, all right? One, is Jake Lang a racist? Absolutely. No doubt about that. And he's monetizing it using social media, mainly X, but other medias, I'm sure. Okay. Number 2 is the culture that Jake Lang is speaking about, specifically, not all black culture, but the culture that he's speaking about, or some of the traits, or not even traits, but some of the behavior and culture of the black community that is maybe toxic, or maybe doesn't paint us in a good light all the time, or could not be good for us in the long run. Is he, is there some truth to it? Yes. But Jake Lang is not the person to speak about that, because he's not speaking about it from a genuine place. He's using it to degrade us, which I'm not cool with.
Why? This might be a new concept to you, Brandon Jamal, but there are bad apples of every group of people. But the vast majority of those people are not dictated or defined by the bad apples, just like Brandon Jamal. So 75% of people who was caught in possession of child porn are white. 75% of them are white. I'm never gonna say, these people are possessing child porn. White folks have a child porn problem. White people should not be around kids. That would be called low IQ.
Now, again, of course, I would say stereotypes exist for a reason. Now, again, is Jake using these things to generalize the black community as a whole? Yes, he does. And a lot of people do that, which is foul. However, stereotypes exist for a reason. If you see this enough times, some people out there start to say, okay, well, is all of them like that? Is that black culture? Even though it's entertainment, do all of them like that? Do all of them, shake their butts to that and gyrate? No, I know I can't do it, but do all of them do that? No, absolutely not. Of course, the generalization here in these terms are being used as an insult and used to heavily degrade black people. Not cool with it.
That would be called being just mentally disabled. If you believe that the very small percentage of white folks who are caught with child porn should define all white people, and we should hold all white people for the sins of a small group of white folks. Just like, again, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty low IQ to say that the majority of black folks and their culture are defined by a small group of criminals who commit crimes. Are you dumb? Maybe, I don't know, bro, because I don't consider myself a smart guy. I don't think I'm a bright guy. I think I got common sense. And I feel like concepts like this should be pretty common sense.
Now look, yes, he's out there looking for attention, obviously. But when a man is right, a man is just right. Y'all know what this culture is. Y'all know exactly what this culture is, and you refuse to acknowledge it, so it will not get better. Your youth are getting dumber and more violent and more sexual, and they're having babies way before they're supposed to.
Now, again, Brandon Jamal acknowledges in the beginning that Jake is using this for attention. Yes, he is. Clicks and views, and to further solidify his racist, standpoint. Again, what Brandon Jamal is saying is not necessarily, disagreeable, okay? Or you cannot necessarily disagree with it in large part. Now, there's some parts about it you can dispute, like he's bringing these statistics up, of course. But, just like that one song that Young Miami came out with, Spin That. Now, there were 2 women that got arrested for boosting bags, and they used her song on a TikTok video to display said stolen merchandise and money, okay? And these are songs that promote scamming and stealing and the worst parts of our society, the worst parts of our race and culture. People say, well, what's the problem with that? Oh, that's not a big deal. I see the comments, some of these people that are speaking against the song, like India Ari and them, they're like, oh, it's not a big deal. You're making a big deal out of it. Well, as Brandon Jamal speaks on, if we continue to not make a big deal out of it or continue to not highlight it, then the culture will eventually completely take over our race. You see what I mean? But I get it. Brandon Jamal, for one, doesn't like, he's not a Democrat. And for 2, he speaks on a way which is heavily triggering. And that's what Flakko is right now. He's triggered.
Now, facts might not be your strong suit, man, but the teen birth rate among black teens are down 34% in recent years. They're not going up. You're just a liar. If they are allowed to use YW Melly, Pooh Shiesty, and Lil Durk to define black culture, to eradicate all the good and greatness we bring to the world, and strictly define it as criminal culture and violent culture, then why are we not allowed to use Jerry Sandusky, Gerald Fogle, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein to define Caucasian culture?
Some people do, Flacco.
Yep.
A lot of people say that, white people, they're serial rapists, they're serial deleters, they like people that are not of legal age, they're some of the biggest scammers. They're actually the first baby daddy, okay? They're the first deadbeat dad, okay? There are a lot of things in white culture that people stereotype white people with, okay? So I don't know where you are in the United States of America, but make no mistake, people use certain negative behaviors of white people to actually stereotype the white race. A lot of black people do it. A lot of us do it.
Why are we not allowed to define that culture as child-touching culture if y'all are allowed to define the character of black folks by the few? Huh? I think that's fair. Okay, if black culture is violent culture, then y'all culture is child-touching culture. How about that?
They're having way too many babies out of wedlock. These women be 22 with 3 babies. You hear me? Because they're hypersexualized. I say it, I say it all the time.
Oh, by the way, again, Brand Jamal's from Chicago. He probably sees this type of culture on a regular basis, okay? And I'm not saying nothing bad about Chicago, but shout out to Minister Jap. Him, Brand Jamal, people like them, they see this kind of stuff all the time where they live because they don't live in the suburbs. They live like in the downtown areas. They live, what we would call the hoods, right? Or the more rural areas, the more populated areas, metropolitan areas of Chicago. So they see this stuff all the time. So to be honest, I think they have a right to call it out, because they've seen it so much. They're probably tired of it, right? So if they happen to trigger you with it, well, is he wrong? Maybe to you, but to him, he's just calling like he sees it.
Every single society has drug addiction, prostitution, violence, gang violence, murder, alcoholism, adultery.
And I don't mean to stereotype Brand Jamal here, but you look at the amount of tattoos he has on his face, on his body. I mean, you think he hasn't seen some stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and again, this is stereotyping and generalizing, but if you ask him, like he'll tell you where he grew up at. He's seen a lot of stuff, okay?
But they've taken the negative aspects of everybody's society and made that my Black American culture. And we're talking about grown folks. We're not talking about 17-year-olds. Don't believe me? Look how warmly Young Miami is received by a group of her peers, grown-ups, mind you. Where are my scamming ass niggas at? Look at all these adults.
Brandon Jamal wants you to believe that Jake Lang is 100% correct when he says that black culture is violent culture, that black culture is degeneracy, and we're incapable of coexisting with white folks, so hence we should be kicked out the country. He wants you to believe that Jake Lang is correct about that because Young Miami got a hit song and that she's being celebrated through her resiliency.
Let's be clear, Jake Lang is absolutely not correct about that. But again, like I said, stereotypes exist for a reason. If you're a person of another race and you look into their race and see what's going on, you will generalize. We generalize the Asian culture, we generalize black culture, we generalize Caucasian culture, the small hats, Africans, Europeans, people in the UK, Canada, Hispanics. We have generalizations and stereotypes for every race. And to be fair, a lot of those stereotypes are negative.
Being celebrated for not really giving up when it was looking bad for her. But even if you believe what Young Miami is doing is bad for the culture, then okay, it's bad for the culture. But that don't mean the entire culture is that. Because I can tell you a Young Miami comparison. Have we forgotten about Pistol Annies? When white folks was celebrating Pistol Annies all across America, was we saying, man, white culture is gold digging culture, man. Man, white culture, gold digging culture, man. Have we forgotten Hell on Hills? Huh? I'm hell on hills, say what you will. Man, come on, bro. Hell on Hills.
I have no idea what you're talking about with Hell on Hills, by the way. It's some kind of song, and what was it promoting? I got to look it up.
Was literally Pistol Annies singing about finessing men out their credit cards, finessing men out of everything they got, finessing them, taking it all.
Oh, okay. Cool.
When Pistol Annies glorify gold digging culture, when Pistol Annies glorify finessing men, do they say, oh my God, white culture, oh my God, bro, how could y'all be celebrating gold digging? Huh? But when Young Miami do it, now that speaks for all of black culture. Yo, you tokens got to get better at this, bruh. I'll be real, yo, you will think that if you doing all that grifting and them white folks is putting that much money in your pocket, bruh, you at least will have some type of convincing argument here, bruh. But nothing you're bringing up makes sense. Judging the entire black culture by Young Miami as if, I don't know, something like Jasmine Sullivan don't exist. Judging the entire black culture by, I don't know, Pooh Shiesty and Lil Durk, right? As if Kirk Franklin and J. Cole don't exist. It's dumb. Okay, it's dumb.
I mean, touche. I agree, no. Like I said, is it bad stereotype? Yeah. Is it dumb? Maybe? Of course. Is it real? Is it true? Yes. Okay? Again, we as black folks, we look out to other cultures too, and we have negative stereotypes about, like, again, a plethora of cultures. So, I mean, are we also wrong for stereotyping? I mean, so it's wrong on all sides to be fair, but I know right now he's discussing Brand Jamal, he's discussing white people and Caucasian culture, so got it.
Are degenerates in every culture, but somehow only black culture is being defined by their degenerates and no other culture.
Ass niggas, but you niggas and moan and complain about unfair incarceration rates. Your culture is crime, stupid. Where all my scamming ass at? Yeah. So now he's a domestic terrorist for pointing out the obvious about black culture. You know what?
Is he a domestic terrorist? No, I wouldn't say that. Is he a high level, troublemaker, rebel rouser, contrarian, if you will? Absolutely, yes. Is he able to trigger the masses with his behavior? Yes, he is. Will I call him a domestic terrorist? No. Until something happens in a school somewhere or a bank, they have a mass type situation and he's at the center of it, then I'll call him that for sure.
Let's talk about this domestic terrorist claim. In 2023, there were over 19,000 homicides in America. Over 11,000 of them were black people, and most of those were done by black people. Well, let's talk about domestic terrorism. Let's talk about drill music, shall we?
There's about 49 million black people in America, even though the number may be closer to 60 million in some estimates due to like black folks not really participating in the census like that. But let's just say 49 million, that's the number on file. You just said that about half of 19,000 homicides. So let's say 9. F it, let me give you the benefit of the doubt and say 10,000. So 10,000 people murdered people in America. 10,000 black folks murdered somebody in America. And there are 50 million black folks, but yet you say 10,000 represents 50 million. Do you understand now how dumb that is? Like, do you not understand how dumb that is, bro?
Well, I think the point of that was that more of us do bad things to ourselves than outside forces, if you will. I think that was the point. I get it, the statistic and all that, but the point of it is that we do more harm to ourselves than anything. I think that's the point. And a lot of people that are in red, black, and green spaces, shout out to Umar Johnson, he would say the same thing. We do more harm to ourselves than, and not just from deletion, from not supporting each other business wise and things like that. Of course, we don't have the school yet. If we had the school, you don't support the school, right? Which, yeah. Anyway, I think that was the whole point of it. I mean, I get it, there's more white people than there's black people. That can't be understated. But the fact of the matter is, if there was, this many that happened that's not here no more, and this is the amount of us, and then most of those were done by us, then you know what I'm saying? You gotta count that.
And Jake Lang is a literal domestic terrorist. What are you talking about? Jake Lang went to jail for 4 years before being pardoned by Donald Trump on terrorism charges. He was a part of the insurrection on January 6th. He tried to take over our country. Like he's literally a domestic terrorist. Like he literally went to jail and was convicted for it. But when it comes to you, when a white man is convicted of a crime, that don't count though. All right. The 49 million black folks who didn't murder somebody this year, they're murderers. Their culture is violent. Their culture is degeneracy, even though they were not convicted of it. However, Jake Lang, who was literally convicted of domestic terrorism, he's not a domestic terrorist though. Bruh, you can't make it this obvious, man. you ain't never seen butter biscuits you didn't like. You ain't never
Not the
seen a
butter
masa
biscuits.
pillow that wasn't cold.
Which ain't nothing but I kill niggas and rap about it music. You don't call that domestic terrorism. But a man saying your culture is shit is domestic terrorism. You don't even hear yourself. You don't even think. You don't use what God gave you between your two ears, and you don't use the two ears. You just use your mouth and talk. Domestic terrorism. Let's talk about some damn domestic terrorism. Black culture is domestic terrorism. What the
Hold on now, Regiment. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Not that one. This one.
Enemy spotted.
Black culture. No. I mean, your description. I was kind of there with you till you said this. Now, hold on now.
The culture is obsessed with crime, sex, drugs, and alcoholism. The culture is destroying its own people from within. Black people in America are the fruit of a very intentionally planted poison tree. And I realized it when I was watching Straight Outta Compton.
I used to think like this when I was like a little younger, but I'm not talking about like being this deep into like this sellout culture. But I used to think, man, hip hop music, man, violent crime, man, we got a problem. But then I really sat with myself and said, well, hold on, this makes no sense, right? Like with all the inventions, all the creations we was given the world, how much better we have left the world, how much we have offered to the world, our music, our culture, our customs, our inventions, everything. Where would the world be without Black people?
And you know, I think Brandon's point is that, you know, with all the stuff that we've done, the type of entertainment type of stuff that we glorify now is, you understand what I'm saying? Kind of the way the culture has turned. And has it always been bad? No, but it's gotten progressively worse over the years. Yes. And me being a Black person myself, I think there's something to what Brandon's saying. Maybe you don't think it's that intense, but is it getting worse in my opinion? Yes, it is. You know, yes, it is. Okay? We're becoming more bold with things. All right? And again, not to say that white people aren't either, but I can only speak for my side. And I don't like what I'm seeing from my side. Okay? And I want better for my people. Right?
Where will America be if we didn't literally create the economic foundation and structure? Do you understand when a white lion landed, they brought slaves on a white lion? You know why? Because the white folks said, hey, bruh, this tobacco, bruh, hey, yo, this is too much to harvest, bruh. The indentured servant said, hey, bruh, the tobacco is too much for us, bro. We can't handle, the work is too hard dealing with tobacco. They brought slaves to deal with the tobacco because it was too hard for them. And then they transitioned to cotton. But it was on the backs of Black folks that the literal economic foundation and structure of the greatest country on planet Earth was built. We did that.
Sure, you're right.
Right? Black folks did that. So for you to sit here and say, oh my God, bro, Black folks don't got nothing to offer but violence and terror, huh? And if the majority of the consumer of the very same music that you're talking about is consumed by non-Blacks the most, have you ever gone to a rap concert? Have you looked around a rap concert? What do you see? 70% white. So if the greatest consumers of that music is that, then what are you talking about? But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do you guys think, bruh? Do y'all believe that Brendan Jamal is correct and that Jake Lang is correct? Or do you guys think that this dude is silly? Let me know, okay? If you're
Now, to end on the rap music thing, yes, he's right. The majority of consumers of rap and hip hop music are white people. I guess the question is who is negatively affected by hip hop? They are consumers, but when they get done with the music, they go home, to their white picket fence. They go home to Johnny and Jill. They hug their family and everything. They go to bed. They wake up next morning. They go to church. They go to the college, they go to their nice CEO job, but we somehow internalize it, and next thing you know, they're using it in the drill rap to motivate themselves to do bad things. You see what I mean? So, yeah, they can do it. They are the main consumers of it, but they're not the same. They're not the main consumers of the people that's, internalizing it and behaving similar to the music? Yes. I mean, I think so. But y'all let me know what y'all think, because this is a heavy conversation right here. So y'all let me know what y'all think about it. And with that being said, thank you for taking another episode of Armchair Anchorman. I'm just a normie here in the front of a webcam in a computer chair to give you the news. What say you about the opinions of Poetik Flakko and Brandon Jamal? Who do you agree with? Do you agree with Brandon Jamal that, the culture is getting more and more toxic by the day? Or do you agree with Poetik Flakko that, all this brouhaha about the black community being so toxic is really too extreme? Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. Please, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell. We're out of the door, and I will see you on the next video.